What's up guys, Matt here with Matco Metalworks and welcome to another video. What we are doing here today is building what I call pipe and picket rails. This is for a handicap ramp project and what we're doing here is just laying out the first frame. So you see we've got our posts and our top rail. This is a 112 pitch on the ramp, so therefore we're making this at 5 degrees. I think 112 actually equals about 4.5, but we always build handicap ramps at 5 degrees. That's the maximum that you can do. And so we're setting them up, got a little jig there, tacking everything together, and getting it all laid out so we can cut our bottom. And what you have to do with the bottom is measure in between those posts, and then you have to add 5/8 of an inch. That allows for a 5/16 cope on each side. Okay, so now we've got the frame all tacked together. What we do is we take it from the floor. The reason we put it there is that way it's close to the saw. We can lay it nice and flat and have plenty of room to work. Then we'll take it and put it on the table. And what we'll do is you can see we've got a piece of 3x3 angle. That just helps keep the frame straight. With it being so long, the longer you get, the harder it is to keep it straight. It wants to warp on you. It's just got so much heat with the welding, and then when you put the pickets in, it's even worse. So put that angle on there, you can clamp it, keep it straight. And what he's done, he's welded everything up. Now he's just grinding it. You want to make sure you grind everything before you start putting the pickets in. Once you put the pickets in, it's really hard to get to some of those places in the copes to get the grind. And so he's got that all done now, nice and shiny as you can see, nice and smooth. And what we'll do, we had what he's doing there is actually just putting some angle pieces in. When you're doing repetition, it's easier to build jigs and so forth and speeds things up. So what he's doing now is just taking the pickets. We didn't have drawings for this. We just cut a couple sample ones, and then we'll dry fit those and then cut the rest of them. That ended up being, I think it was about 65 pickets for each 23-foot section. So as you can see, I got a little bit behind setting the camera up. We had a few issues with the anchors. I had the wrong size, so luckily there was a Lowe's Home Improvement right across the street. I was able to get the correct anchors and finally got the camera set up after we had started the left side. And what I wanted to do was start this left side because it's easier to um, get the stuff over there to it. Instead, if we did the right side, you'd have been fighting, carrying everything around, where we can just kind of hand stuff over and then we'll come back and do the right side second. But as you can see, things are going together pretty smooth. This is probably one of the first or very few times that I've built a project without field measuring, going strictly off the plans from the contractor. And we don't like to do that just because it's easier to field measure and you get more accurate. But unfortunately, as you can see from the concrete, it was extremely wet. They literally poured this less than 24 hours prior to us installing these rails, just due to the deadline that we had. And as you can see, there's a paint crew there touching up paint where they just cut this new door in. And what I'm assuming this is for potential employees, because there's handicap access and so forth in the front of the building. So, but things are going pretty good. What we're doing here is just anchoring, and we've got bolt plates on these. We also use a core drill process, but on this application, I'm glad we did not, because we probably could not have core drill just to the fact that the concrete had definitely not cured completely, and probably should have set at least 3 or 4 days before we got on it, but that's not the case. And we got these done and they turned out really good, as you'll see toward the end of the video. But things are going together pretty good, considering we had no field measurements and went strictly off the blueprints. The concrete guys did exceptional work, and we've done work with them before, and So it all worked out pretty good together. So as you can see, while Josh is finishing up, just welding everything up on the left side, Stephen and myself are cutting some pieces to just connect the grab rail up the very top corner where you see everyone painting, and we're discussing chop saws. So if anyone has any input on chop saws, we're looking to get one to carry on site for stuff like this. It'd be so much easier, especially for cutting angles. The Portaman is great, but just not at doing stuff like that. Hard to hold things if you don't have a vise. So I've been looking at, I think, Evolution. But if you guys have any opinions on those, please let us know. grinder with a slack wheel, 60 grit, and what he's doing is blending where we made the joint. What I try to do is on every rail job, I want to make it where you can't see the joint. The majority of people never will. If you know where to look, you can kind of see them, but we try to do our best to blend them all in to where you just can't see where any of the joints are. It just looks a lot more professional. Well guys, there you have it. There's another completed job. That's 120 feet of pipe and picket rail. It's 1.25 inch Schedule 10 handrail pipe. And this application called for 1/2 inch square tube pickets. The height is 42 inches from the concrete to the top of the guardrail and 36 inches from the concrete to the top of the grab rail. As I said, they were bolted in. We do a lot of core drilling. I think it looks better, but this application, I'm glad we did not, as I said, because I don't know if it would have gone very well. This concrete was still very soft. They even put some stuff in it, calcium or some kind of chemical, whatever they do, to help it cure quicker, but just due to the temperatures, it didn't help very much. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you on the next video.